My name is Craig Wilson. I'm the kilted chef from Eat on the Green here in Udney Green. I'm delighted to be part of the Deeside Food Festival for the last couple of years, and it's a great example where lots of people come together, food producers, get involved and celebrate our great produce of this area. This film is going to give you a unique behind-the-scenes experience of all the hard work and the passion of all the producers we have here on our doorstep.
I'm Craig Mickey from Barra Bronze Turkeys. We're here on our farm, Loch End of Barra, where the Barra Bronze turkeys are reared. My great-grandfather came here in 1929. It was originally an arable farm, but I started Barra Bronze Turkeys in 2012. I've always had a real passion for fine food. I thought there was a real gap in the market for high quality poultry, and that's where I decided one day I wanted to be a turkey farmer. And the difference with our turkeys is they're the slowest growing in the country, which I believe gives you the fullest flavour. All of our birds come beautifully packaged up in a box with cooking instructions and a pop-up thermometer. Due to the success of previous years, this year we're growing just under 2,000 birds. Our birds have twice the space of the organic standards, and that ensures the birds are free to roam. It gives them that real varied diet. It sounds a little bit strange, a bit alternative, but we decided to take in a couple of alpacas. The reason for that is they guard the turkeys like they're young against foxes, badgers, any predators, and it gives the birds the confidence to range that little bit further, vary their diet, and really enhances the final quality of the meat. So we rear Devon Bronze, Wirral Black, Hockenhall Bronze, a real mix of weights. They're generally all female, just because the eating quality of the female is much better. The female's a much nicer, thick layer of marble fat, which gives you that real juicy flavour and naturally bastes the meat, which gives you that delicious meal on Christmas Day.
I'm Ellie from VegCo. We grow tomatoes and chilies in our greenhouse on our farm using renewable energy. We are completely self-sufficient in the greenhouse, so our energy comes from the anaerobic digester. The byproduct from the digester, which is digestate, it's basically just digested silage. We actually use that as a compost for the plants. So we actually started off with about 10 varieties of vegetables in here, and it just turned into the Amazon rainforest, and it just turned ridiculous. You couldn't move for greenery, so we decided, right, what's sort of niche market, what's popular at the moment? Strange looking tomatoes and chilies are really quite popular at the moment. So we've got around 15 varieties of tomatoes and around 15 varieties of chilies. We then diversified on again from that because it was a huge success, and we managed to get a whole range of hot sauces and dried products.
We established our family farm 3 generations ago. We have here behind me, this is our crop of rapeseed, which will be harvested this August and will be cold pressed into our Ola cold pressed rapeseed oil. The name Ola is Gaelic for oil, and we cold press it on the farm. We started cold pressing our rapeseed in 2008, the first in Scotland to cold press rapeseed. Our Ola cold pressed rapeseed oil has half the saturated fat compared to olive oil. It also has 10 times the omega-3 content compared to olive oil, and also has no food miles because it's grown and produced right here in the northeast of Scotland. This is the dehulled spelt grain, ready for milling. We then send this up to Golspie Mill, which is the only remaining commercial water-powered mill in Scotland. And Michael there stone mills the grain using the traditional solid granite mill wheels. Spelt existed before wheat did, and was grown for centuries. It fell out of favour as modern wheat developed, but I decided to revive the ancient grain and grow my own crop of spelt, which we stone grind into spelt flour.
I'm James Reid from the Campus of May Cheese Company. We've been here at Campus of May outside Ballater for about 5 years now. Coming from the late 1800s, my grandmother actually first learned to do this on Deeside. As a young girl, she lost her mum at a very young age. That, I believe, is where we actually skipped a generation, and the skills and the processes were actually passed down by the maid, I'm told. It went out of circulation for a while. You know, my grandmother picked up at Geiritsmeyer and St Cyrus farms when we moved over to the coast. She was never doing it in a commercial aspect. That should be stressed. You know, it was only ever being done to feed the family. So where I am making 160 cheeses here, you know, she was making 1 or 2. And she had this old railway carriage out in the back garden, which by the time I was coming through was actually used as a hen house. It wasn't until many years later I found out its initial use had been as her maturing room. Everything we do is a cheddar type. More specifically, my grandmother's recipe is a very specific 2-day cut recipe designed to be made over 2 days so that we're getting a lovely high acid, just to give it that slight old-fashioned sourness reminiscent with cheeses of years gone by.
We are Dougie and Katie Cruikshank. We have Katie's eggs. We have Gordonston Farm, which we run the eggs from.
Oh well, we started with 10 hens, and it's just growing into a bit of business. But people come in needing eggs, and we do hotels and shops, and we have about 3,000 hens now. But if we're at full production, we've about somewhere in the region of 2,500 eggs.
Our eggs taste good because the hens are roaming freely about the farm.
Truly outside, kept in little amounts, and there are no thousands of hens to shed. Just 500s the most we have in the house. And when we open the door in the morning, they just fly out the door and away up the park. And we get to where they get to create a tasty egg.
Yeah, we have a lot of suppliers, and Alice from Bakery Lane uses them in her baking because she says it makes her baking taste good. Pasta Maya uses my eggs because she likes the colour of her eggs to make her pasta look the part.
I'm making my pasta, and to make my pasta I use Katie's eggs because we're really lucky, we're so close to each other that that really takes the food mile nearly down to zero, because it's only 4 or 5 miles distance that we have to travel to get the eggs straight from the farm to the table and then into the pasta.
My name is Peter Dignan. I'm with my business partner Richard Pearce. We run the Lost Loch Distillery. We are located on the outskirts of Aboyne, close to Loch Auchalossen, or what used to be Loch Auchalossen.
The history of Harouche, my 96-year-old grandmother, who's still alive, can remember Harouche being made in Dufftown back in the 1920s. A lot of my family worked for the distilleries at the time, and whisky being up the main base alcohol in Harouche would have been taken from the distilleries. Honey and berries would have been added to the whisky, and it would have been left to steep for 3 months. I started producing it about 5 years ago. I could never make enough of it without it being consumed by all my friends and relatives, hence the Harouche shed where we stand now. Traditionally we were looking for a name for Harouche, and I remember picking up the Scottish Dictionary one evening and just started browsing through, and I opened at a page, and there was the word Harouche, and immediately the word struck me as a good name for the bramble liqueur in a commercial basis. I then looked at the meaning of the name, and it was a high-spirited, disorderly gathering, an uproar, and I just thought the name fitted the drink so well that was it. The two moulded together and joined together, and the rest is history.
It's been a long and exciting journey from the Harouche shed in my garden to the new facility here. We will be producing Harouche here when we open up, and we also hope to be bottling our first Scottish absinthe called Myrmican, and our gin, which we're going to be calling Inu.
We're Bruce and Jane Mackey, and we run Rora Dairy on our farm in northeast Aberdeenshire. We take the milk from our cows and we make delicious yoghurt.
We started making yoghurt because I felt that we've been living on a dairy farm long enough without products, and it would be really interesting to have our own products and make the whole chain of events from dairy to product to market clearer for the consumer. Lots of fruit yoghurts, they've got a lot of sugar in them, and it was important to me to try and keep the sugar content as low as possible. Yeah, we started all the paperwork about a year, last April 2016, and we started processing on April 3rd, 2017, so we've been running for 3 months.
And now we're in the milking shed where we milk 220 cows. The shed's recently built and we've been milking in it for about 18 months. We're milking with Lely astronaut robots. The way the system works is that the cows walk into the robots themselves and are milked automatically, and that happens for nearly 24 hours a day. It's a great system. The cows milk themselves more often than we would have milked them previously.
The flavours we have are natural and then natural set, which is a more spoonable product, Scottish heather honey yoghurt, raspberry yoghurt, and we have a strawberry yoghurt.
Welcome on board the Amity here in Peterhead. I am Jimmy Buchan. I'm a well-known face in the area, and I've been a fisherman for 40 years, living and working out at Peterhead. My family before that were all great herring fishermen, so there's a lot of history and heritage in the community of Peterhead. People often ask me, what have I learned about my own industry in the 40 years I've been in it? And one of the 3 things that spring to mind with me are 3 words, which is responsibility, sustainability and provenance. And these are words that we didn't probably see much in our lives growing up as young fishermen, because all that we wanted to do was go to sea and catch fish. It was the hunter instinct. But we now know that you can't do that endlessly without having damage to the stocks, and therefore the things that I certainly have learned, and along with my colleagues, and now want to pass that on, is we've got to fish sustainably. We've got to leave enough in the sea so that there's enough for tomorrow. So that's where the second link comes. And of course, people really want to know where their seafood is coming from, and that's the provenance. I mean, we hear so much about food fraud now, and the one thing that we can do as an industry is stand loud and proud and tell that story. We've just had cod approved as an MSC stock. Cod is the big story at the moment because it was a stock, it was under so much pressure in the last decade, and here we are with it being signed off as safe to eat. And it is now in our hands to make sure that we keep that stock as an MSC approved stock for the enjoyment of people on shore to eat fish.
Hi, I'm Andrew Booth, 4th generation farmer here in Aberdeenshire, in Foveren, and this is Savick Farm, and these are some of my Angus cows. We are predominantly an arable farm, but traditionally a beef farmer as well. And in 2000 we decided that we wanted to get close to the consumer, and we opened a farm shop called The Store. We only use Aberdeen Angus cattle. We believe that the grass-fed aspect of our beef is what makes it different, as well as the hanging and the maturity of the beef. It's to do what it's fed. You are what you eat, after all. That is probably what's linked us into where we are with our oats. From being close to the consumer, understanding what the consumer wants to buy is an important aspect of the development of the store, and that's where we saw the store grow, and that's where we've seen the increase in the gluten-free market, hence why we're focusing on gluten-free production. So within the processing plant, we're going to be using innovative technology to stabilise the oats. We can move the stirrers to mixing the grain and change the fan speeds and control all that. We can control it from our phones if we're not here. It's very exciting, and it's something that we're striving not only to be innovative, but we want to be carbon neutral as well, and hopefully all our energy is going to be green energy also. So by embracing all this technology here, it's allowed us to improve our farming techniques and ultimately improve the efficiency of what we do.
So my name is Liz Campbell and I'm from Udny Provender. I created the company about 3 years ago. I've always been a home producer. I've always liked to use things that I grow in my garden and that come from the hedgerows and things all around me. We also keep bees, and we have always wanted to have a company, have a business that we can run from home. So one of the new products we've been doing is shrubs. Shrubs are cordials that are made of vinegar and fruit. It sounds a little bit weird to have vinegar in a cordial, but vinegar is a fantastic product. In a drink, it makes it extremely refreshing, very thirst quenching. It also is an excellent way of preserving fruit. You can make some fantastic cocktails with some really exciting flavours of shrubs.
So I'm Ewan Campbell. I work at the University of Aberdeen on honeybees, but I also keep about 25 honeybees for myself, honeybee hives. And we make local honey out of them, spring blossom honey, and then we take the hives and get heather honey from them later in the year. So it's quite nice that there's a bit of a synergy there between the bees in the garden and gathering the honey, but also they pollinate the fruit that goes into our other produce. So for each hive we make about 20 kilos of honey in the spring, and then if we have a good summer we get another 10-15 kilos of heather honey later in the year. And this is a combination of the spring honey with chestnuts and oilseed rape, and then we have heather and summer flowers as well. So once the bees have done their hard work, we do the easy bit. We wait till the honey's capped in the hive, and we'll go in there, we'll take out the frames, we uncap with a special machine, and then we spin out the honey really quickly in a centrifuge that takes all the honey out of the frames really easily, and then we put it in buckets, and then we jar it up once it's been softened, ready for you guys to eat.
So I would urge you to take a different road. Come out into the heartland of Aberdeenshire and discover some of these local artisan producers for yourself. You'll taste the difference.